Looking down, we have Dennis Tsao, Jimmy Zhu, and Hank Zhong. Starting over with Legacy. In the middle matchup, we have, oh gosh, this is one of the more interesting modern matchups. Jimmy Zhu is on Death's Shadow versus Jake Humphries on Burn.
That one's always a roller coaster.
That one's wild. And in Standard, we have, this one probably does go in the favor. Dennis Tsao on Black-Green Delirium, the larger deck against Black-Green Aggro from JD. But we will start with Legacy, and this one is going to be a fast set of games. Starting with Hank Zhong, it's going to be a Gitaxian Probe, and we see Emma on 3 lands, Force of Will, Ponder, Monastery Swift Spear.
Notably a 6-card hand.
And a lot of times Delver's okay on 6 cards. I would think this is more like a burn deck, blue-red, less happy to be down 1.
This deck does a lot more things that feel like mulliganing until you convert a win. That's basically what a burn strategy is doing. If you're casting Chain Lightning targeting your opponent, which is the only place it's going to go in this matchup, until you actually deal 20 damage, it feels like you're down on cards.
So after that probe, Hank will go ahead and take a Ponder. He does, however, shuffle off the Ponder, not really liking the top of his deck.
And having the Force of Will in hand is nice. It will protect Emma from 1 sneak attack, 1 show and tell, what have you, unless, of course, Hank is able to produce a Force of Will, a Spell Pierce, a Flusterstorm of his own.
And we pass. So Emma on her first turn. We know that there's a turn 1 Monastery Swift Spear. She'll pick up another copy of Ponder. And one thing that Blue-Red does have going for it is its ability to race in these kind of matchups.
Yeah, more than any other build of a Delver deck, you can deal a lot of damage a lot faster.
And the hit-in from Swiss here will put Hank down to 17.
And given the legality of Ancient Tomb and City of Traders, this is the first turn where Hank can start comboing off. Lotus Petal, another piece of that equation.
Yeah, it looks like he's mostly on cantrips right now. You see he'll lead with Ponder. I believe 2 copies of Brainstorm in hand as well.
And Hank's deck is nice. These are some very nice foils.
The cards are nice, but the draws aren't. This is the second time he's just had to shuffle off a Ponder. I'm not certain he has a second land. And considering he got to start with Probe, Ponder, Ponder, this is certainly on the lower end of the possible outcomes.
That's a lot of looks to miss on. I believe a Volcanic Island in the holding.
He's got one, yeah. He's looking at 2 Brainstorms and a Flusterstorm. So it's, I mean, it's nice to play cantrips into more cantrips, but you are looking to do something eventually. So draw here gives him Force of Will.
And so it looks like he has a show and tell, he has a Force of Will, he has blue cards. He's missing a 3rd mana source and a card to put in. But Brainstorm's pretty good at finding those.
Yeah, sure. Brainstorm finds him a land and an Emrakul, and he's set.
Yes.
Emma will lead on Ponder, prowessing for the Monastery Swift Spear. Finding a neat mix of cantrips here and burn. One thing with Blue-Red Delver, because it makes so much room for these burn spells, I do notice, it doesn't actually have as many board controls as the other Delver decks. You know, there's no Stifle, there's no, Thoughtseize, no Deathrite Shaman.
It is much less interactive unless, of course, your opponent is playing a bunch of Deathrite Shamans or just creatures that you can Chain Lightning. You interact way less on the stack. There's no Spell Pierce as well.
So Emma's going to go and shuffle off the Ponder. And my question to you then would be, what kind of cards is she looking for at this point?
So chaining cantrips is very important for just damage output with the Swift Spear. A second copy of Swift Spear or a Storm Chaser Mage just to turn the heat up. That's the kind of stuff that she wants right now. She already has a Force of Will, so that has her a little bit covered. Another piece of interaction, if a Daze is effective, then she wants that, though that's kind of contextual based on what Hank is able to produce.
She's going to cast Gitaxian Probe now. So the Swift Spear is going to go up to 3/4. Her hand has basic island in it, and the draw off ponder was a copy of Delver's Secrets.
It's not a bad one.
Yeah, you're kind of saying a second threat was what she was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at Hank's hand, we'll see it here. Gristlebrand, Show and Tell. Okay, I like that part. Brainstorm, Force of Will. This is
so the only thing he's really missing is actually just that mana source.
The land. This is a very scary hand to be looking at from Emma's side. This is the combo with Force backup.
Yes.
So that Force of Will blue card she has in her hand, not actually good enough right now.
Yeah, that's going to incentivize her to do something like cast a cantrip over the Delver if she doesn't have a way to stop this from killing her on the following turn.
Draw off probe was a red spell. Is it possible that she... I was going to say she could Force of Will the Brainstorm, but it doesn't matter what she forces. Hank's probably just forcing back. And a Ponder again from Emma. So I like how this is a change of strategy. In another time, she might have played the Delver there, but after seeing Hank's hand has adjusted.
And she found a Force of Will in her top 3 cards. One of the other abilities of Delver's Secrets is that it pitches to Force of Will.
Well, yes, but I think she already has Force plus Delver. So
does she not have another blue card?
I don't think she has another blue card.
That makes this one look more like a shuffle.
The hope would be that she would find a Daze here, would be my guess.
If the top 3 has Force and another blue card, and that is what she's missing, it's hard to shuffle this one away. The only upgrade is actually Daze, and that's assuming that Hank produces just a land that taps for 1. It's very hard to shuffle away Force blue card here. I don't know whether or not she has blue card to go with the Force.
Right now, she does not. You see Delver of Secrets, Force of Will, Basic Mountain, and then a red spell here. I believe it's Price of Progress.
Yeah, that's not quite going to do it.
So she's going to go fishing for that Daze. Takes a shuffle on the Ponder. And I'll tell you, if someone can play combo decks, if I see my opponent make this kind of line and then shuffle off the Ponder, I'm a lot more inclined to just jam combo.
Yes.
I mean, like, you're clearly looking. Emma got to look at Hank's hand, and now, you know, this to me feels like it smells like desperation, right? They saw your hand, they know they can't beat it, so now they're shuffling. Great.
Especially spending that much time on the Ponder.
Yeah. Draw is another blue card. She'll swing with Monastery Swiftspear. This prowessed its way all the way up, I believe, to a 4/5.
Yep.
So Hank down to 13. And Emma will pass. Now Hank's going to go brainstorming for that third land. And it's the first card he sees.
And Gitaxian Probe in the mix as well.
Oh, so not only does Hank, he doesn't even have to take a risk. He can look at the hand first, see if the coast is clear, and then go for it.
Yep.
This is pretty great for him.
If Hank were at a lower life total, Gristlebrand's technically beatable. Part of the equation is killing your own creature that it blocks in combat.
Hank will go to 11 here on the Gitaxian Probe. Now we'll see Emma has Brainstorm, Force, blue card, Mountain, Fire Blast. It is close to being fast enough, but it's not going to be good enough against Hank's hand.
Right.
Over in our modern matchup, Jimmy Shu playing Death's Shadow takes game 1 over Jake Humphries. And Hank, is he fetching for Basic Island? Looks like it is go time here on the Sneak and Show side.
This turns off the potential that Emma could convert something with Fire Blast plus Price of Progress.
Well, hold on. I guess Hank just can't draw 7, right? He just has to play the Gristlebrand as a 7/7 lifelink and let that be fine.
Yep.
Show and Tell is the play. Emma has a Force of Will to fight, but it's not a winning fight. And she knows it.
Certainly cast it anyway.
there's no reason for her not to fight this, even though she knows it doesn't work.
If the Force of Will is countered on the stack here, it would be countered if she were able to do anything that matters later anyway.
Right. And yeah. She'd be giving up the Delver of Secrets in her hand to make this play, but
she did pick up Brainstorm, so she could pitch that one.
It's probably, yeah.
She's trying to math out as a way that she could eke out a win by peeling some red spells off the top of the deck.
Yeah, so if she gets Hank to cast Force of Will here, so he's at 10. We see Delver of Secrets and Gristlebrand both put onto the battlefield.
And she did not go for the Force of Will.
So she's going to have to deal 10 before Hank connects with Gristlebrand. I would think if he gains life even once here, the game's over. She's not going to come back from that life swing. Not
Monastery
easily.
Swiftspear can become quite large.
Delver of Secrets flips off Lightning Bolt. That is a great find for Emma.
Yeah, she now has 7 points that can go upstairs.
We're getting close to enough.
And if the Gristlebrand attacks, she's able to cast 3 spells that makes that entire attack a wash.
It's a start. Here's Brainstorm from Emma. Another Lightning Bolt, another Delver of Secrets.
Okay, so this...
Yeah, maybe.
This actually is pretty scary for Hank here. She can cast another Delver and leave a spell on top to flip it.
And that spell is Lightning Bolt. So then she would have Basic Mountain, Volcanic Island, 2 Lightning Bolts, and a Fire Blast. That is a lot of damage.
And by not forcing the show and tell, now her Force of Will is in the driver's seat. She does something that forces Hank to force,
and she gets to force back. As long as she has a blue card to pitch to it. And where she is brainstorming now and put and show and tell the Delver into play. So it might be that the second Delver she's found in the top 3 doesn't get to be cast.
Sure. Little deliberation with the team here. This is going to be the decision that decides the game if she does have the potential to win.
Right. Hank Zhong, yeah, this guy's going to attack. He's doing fine. Bolt, Bolt, Fetch Land, Mountain, Force of Will, Delver of Secrets. Fire Blast. Those are the cost 7. Emma's going to have to put 2 back. Yeah, it looks like the only blue card for that Force of Will is the Delver, so she can't actually cast that one.
She could just concede that she does not want to cast Force of Will.
And just put Force of Will on, put Force of Will land on top or something like that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Following turn, she can cast Bolt, Bolt, and Fire Blast. It's just 10 points of burn, and that would be in addition to 10 points of attackers.
Kind of like that. Emma looks like she's going to hang on to that. She puts the Fetch Land and one of the 2 Lightning Bolts on top of the deck. All right. Brainstorm resolved. Basic Mountain into play. Now if she plays out the Delver, the Force of Will is no good. So I think by keeping the Force, she's definitely not playing the Delver. So an attack with both. This would mean that Emma's going to... Well, hold on here. She blocks with Monastery Swiftspear. I'm not sure that... So she's going to have to Fire Blast her own Swiftspear. If she bolts her own Swiftspear, Hank can insist on the Prowess trigger.
Right.
The Swiftspear is currently a 2/3.
There's the potential that Hank just blocks the Delver. That works out.
Then she can bolt the Delver in response. See if Hank can suss this one out. With the right block, this should get him the game. He blocks Swiftspear. Yeah, you see on his face, he's trying to figure out He's not exactly sure what to make of this attack.
The plan could also just be to use the Swift Spear to trade with some spells and get the Gristlebrand off the table.
Well, what spells does it trade with? He just blocks.
Yeah, he blocks, and then she has Fire Blast plus Lightning Bolt plus Swift Spear. He can only force one of them.
Oh, to kill, she's just going to kill Gristlebrand.
Yeah, exactly.
Great, okay. He's going to block Swift Spear. It's currently 2 power. So if she Fire Blasts the Gristlebrand, she'll kill it. So floating 2 mana. And I think that looks like to be the line. Floats 2 red, Fire Blasts the Gristlebrand. So he's going to take 4. Swift Spear will prowess to a 3/4. She's going to go on the line and try to trade her way through the Gristlebrand. Well, that's neat and actually could work here.
Yeah. Hank's holdings don't amount to much. He does, have access to some cantrips.
And what I like here is that Hank would love to draw 7 before Gristlebrand dies, but he's not going to be able to because Emma has red floating.
Yeah, dying to Lightning Bolt.
And Lightning Bolt in hand.
Not ideal.
And Hank knows it because the Delver flipped off Lightning Bolt, so he actually can't draw 7 here.
And the nice thing about this line that Emma's taking as well.
This is really smart.
The alternative of casting the Delver and going for a big attack on the following turn does open up a window where Hank could draw 7.
Yeah. No, this is maybe the only way. This is a really good attack. I mean, Hank's going to get a lot of life points, but he's going to be out of cards. He's going to have to rebuild, and Emma will still have a 3/2. Force plus Ponder on the Fire Blast, but that was expected. It's why Emma hung on to these blue cards.
Right.
And she will force back, absolutely. Hank down to 9, Emma down to 16. Her last card is Lightning Bolt. And I think Hank still knows that. If he draws 7 here, he dies. There's still 2 red floating.
Right. You could suspect that she has brainstormed away the Lightning Bolt out of her hand, but even if that's the case,
I don't want to take that risk.
Yeah.
So, the counter spells trade, the creatures trade. Hank takes 3 off the Delver, but gains 7 off Gristlebrand. Net result, he's at 13. And now he'll get a turn. Emma's just has Lightning Bolt in hand. 1 island in play. Can Hank rebuild fast enough? It's not common, Ryan, that a blue-red deck can win through a resolved Gristlebrand. Especially not one that gains 7.
No, it's impressive stuff.
Maybe it's more common than I think. I don't know. I did not expect this game to still be going.
I dismembered a Gristlebrand once. That was pretty nice.
Okay, no, that sounds great.
My opponent drew 7, found Force, and missed on blue card.
You got lucky.
Star City Games Minneapolis Legacy Open champion Kyle Olson.
Well, that's how you become champion.
Smashed him.
Sounds like he still won.
No, I smashed him. It was a different tournament.
Oh, okay, it's not that one. So Hank will go ahead and preordain here. Emma swings for 3 and plays a fetch land.
And Hank has found Emrakul and another show and tell.
No, that did not. We said maybe she could win before he rebuilds. And I said maybe because no, maybe's not a sure bet. And Hank rebuilt in 2 turns.
Yeah, Brainstorm's pretty good.
Was it Brainstorm into preordain? Yeah, seems great.
That's a combo.
The last card in Emma's hand is Lightning Bolt. So yeah, what do you have? It's Emrakul. Okay.
It's a big one.
Okay, this is going to be harder now. I don't know if she can deal 15 to Emrakul. She managed to chop through a Gristlebrand, but protection from spells is going to make this one hard.
It's problematic.
Lightning Bolt in hand, Lightning Bolt on top of her deck as well. She's going to shuffle. I don't... We're trying for like Swift Spear into a bunch of probes and cantrips. No, I don't even know. Well, maybe Emma can show us. She's done really well to get to this point.
The only real way she has to produce extra cards in her deck is Bedlam Reveler, but she only has 1 source of red mana currently.
Yeah, and next turn is going to be Lights Out. She's fetched down to 15. She does not have 6 permanents. Volcanic Island is not going to do it. Game 1 goes to Hank Zhong and Sneak and Show.
It was a fight. I will say I was not expecting this game to really go beyond the Gristle brand.
No, and for Emma to bring it there took a lot of maneuvering. You know, she gave herself an out to win the top deck war, but then did not win the top deck war.
Right.
So Hank Zhong, along with teammate Jimmy Shu, both win the first game.
This isn't the first time they've had 2 losses and no wins.
I mean, that's kind of just indicative of the tournament, right? Not only do you need to go 0-2 and try to win out, then you should drop a couple games at the beginning of every set.
Yeah.
You know, they're free. If you don't...
Got to make it interesting.
It's free to lose a game in every match.
Yeah, it's fine.
You'd be silly not to. All right, let's look at the sideboards here. For Hank Zhong's side, he's got some of the transform. He's got 2 Omniscience, 2 Defense Grid, and 2 Grafdigger's Cage, and then a lot of different one-ups. Pyroblasts, Red Blast, Flusterstorm, some Sweepers. What do you like against this blue-red Delver deck?
There's a lot to like about this sideboard here. Pyroblast, Red Elemental Blast can deal with a lot of what Emma's casting. Flusterstorm to fight the counter war. So it's questionable how good Defense Grid is against this particular build of Delver.
Yeah, you said to fight the counter war, and that's kind of my question of how much of this is actually a counter war?
Right. In particular in Game 2 when Emma is going to be on the play, if you load up too much on this stuff to fighting counter wars, you can find yourself just losing to a flurry of burn spells in this fast aggression. So I would definitely bring in the Red Blast, the Pyroblast, because they can also kill Delvers. Like, those are just removal spells and counter spells. And the Flusterstorm makes sense as well. I don't know if I want Defense Grid against this particular build.
Yeah, there's not that much going on. She's got Dazes and Force of Wills. 3 forces, not even 4. 3 forces, 4 Dazes.
Fourth will come in off the sideboard, though.
Okay, so let's look at some of the other things in her sideboard then. She does have 3 more counters of her own in Flusterstorm, Pyroblast, and Spell Pierce. And I would assume all of them come in.
Yeah, per counters seem great.
But outside of that, I'm not sure. Surgical Extraction, maybe, but not always very good against this deck, especially when you don't have discard spells.
You'll see a lot of players bring in Surgical when the plan is to win a counter war over 1 show and tell and then get the rest out of the deck. It's not the most effective strategy.
Not a huge fan of it. We'll see where they go with this one. Right now, Emma's team going to have to go pick some things up. Down a game right now in Modern and Legacy. Talk about how Emma's team playing Blue-Red Delver and playing Burn, both of them kind of similar strategies. One card that's good against those strategies, or one animal that's good against those strategies. See what we're doing here? So is the Corgi Firewalker.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow. Just smooth.
I find that describing how what you did was just smooth is arguably not very smooth.
Well, we're giving that away at game night this week and all this month. You can game night is at tournaments all around the country. It's your local store giving away exclusive pins and tokens just for playing in those events. So you can find out where those stores are and get signed up at StarCityGames.com/game night. So I mentioned in February we're giving away Corgi Firewalker. Now see, this next one we can't give away for Legacy tournaments because it's banned. That's actually not true, but it still is Pig Through Time. That's the next one in our creature collection in March. So we have that one to look forward to. And now the new one here coming up in April. We can get you signed up in time for that one. You just saw something. It is the Fleece Keeper. This one is Legacy playable. Kind of. We've seen it played in Legacy.
Legal.
It's Legacy legal.
It's on the fringes. You can play a lot of stuff in Legacy.
You can get it, you know, your fave for the card Peacekeeper from Mirage, or for your Springjack Pastures, or for that white Chroma guy who makes a bunch of goats that no one plays.
Trading Post.
There's that one too.
That one's nice.
I like the, you know, like, what is he, the one, is he a 1/2 for 4? He makes this army of goats. You need a lot of Fleece Keepers if you're going to play that. So find out at store near you, StarCityGames.com/game night.
You don't want to get got by a goat napper.
Well, I think they can steal my 0/1.
Teach you a lesson.
So some evening up here while these two have been sideboarding. Two big wins for the team over on the right. The comeback kings and queens are at it again. Jadine and Jake winning their matches here in Standard and Modern.
Get things even up on the middle table here. Jadine up a game in Standard, Emma down a game in Legacy. It's all tied up. 0 to 1 to 1 to 1 to 1 to 0.
One team into day 2. It's the team, see, maybe even hear it as they're walking by. Team of Patrick Sullivan, Chad Castell, and Robert Vaughn. 7 and 2. They are one of the teams to make it into the second day competition. Patrick might have even won some matches.
I was just going to set the line on Patrick winning 2.5 matches.
It's close.
At round 5, we knew he had only won 1.
So did he do better than 2-2 in the remainder of the day? That's
These are the hard questions.
His best strategy was picking 2 teammates. Clearly. Can't argue with that one. But they are. And Patrick, of course, just if you didn't see his the deck building genius, 20 mountains, 20 basic mountains, 10 different burn spells as 4-ofs. Boom, figured it out.
It's brilliant.
I wish the sideboard was 4-4-4-3. That'd have just to drive it home.
What if the sideboard was
0?
What if the sideboard was 0 cards or 15 ones?
0 cards. That'd have to be the best statement of this. This is what we do.
Yeah, I figured it out.
Lava Spike.
Why would I sideboard? My deck is perfect.
We have, it's in Star City SCG Tour history. We have had a 0 sideboard deck make the finals of a Legacy tournament before. It's happened once.
There's sometimes when I'm playing a combo deck, I just never want a sideboard.
Do you already know the deck? I bet you can guess what deck. Finals, 0 card sideboard.
Legacy Belcher.
Absolutely, first guess.
Nice, nailed it. Not a big
lost to Matthew Hoey in the finals.
Not a big
years ago.
Not a big Burning Wish fan, I take it.
No, I mean just he played Belcher. It was
why
great.
would I need Burning Wish when I just cast Calvin Charbelcher? There's no sorceries involved with that.
I don't know.
You're not going to Burning Wish for Rite of Flame.
So for Emma Handy on Blue-Red Delver here in Legacy, she's down a game. The 25-year-old from Asheville, North Carolina, making the trip here this weekend in Baltimore. Got her first open top 8 not all that long ago. That one was in Standard with Blue-White Flash. Still looking for that first win, however. And basically does this lose early, then string off a streak of wins in every tournament.
Yes. She just tends to be able to focus better, she has said, when her back is against the wall. I know as a player, she likes to kind of see what happens. I've never played a game where I sequence like this, what happens. And
Sure.
The bad news is if you experiment like that, you end up picking up some match losses, and that's fine as long as you learn something. And then when she's got a couple losses, she says, all right, well, now I'm just going to go with the line that I know is able to convert into victory, and it's been paying off.
Emma on a mulligan here. Second time she will keep, however. And that one kept on top. On the play, she'll have some extra speed here for the matchup. Needed as though her deck does Goldfish slower than the other. She starts on Monastery Swift Spear.
I don't know that there's a blue land in her hands. Perhaps there's one on top of the deck.
We don't need one. We got Monastery Swift Spear.
Yeah, 19 more turns of this.
Does look like to have multiple ponders. So one blue land may be all she needs for the game. Now we go to Hank. Oh, this is real bad. Lotus Petal. Ancient Tomb. Yeah. Well, you can't play Days, so might as well play turn 1 Show and Tell. It's Force of Will or Bust for Emma. Legacy's great. Here's a Force of Will. She had Days as well, but you need an island to play that card. And so she'll pitch away the Days. Does Hank have the turn 1 combo with Force backup?
Looks like
no. He just says go. All right. That's a big risk. And that Hank's Hank tried to hit a home run and missed. We see the rest of his hand. 3 lands, an Emrakul, and it looks like a Ponder. So he's going to have to rebuild now. To be fair, I guess it's only a 2 for 2. This wasn't card disadvantage to get that spell forest.
Right. And with the contents of his hand, it's just Ponder Emrakul. It made a lot of sense to go for that on turn 1.
Oh, yeah.
And the Ponder digs quite a few cards to try to fix this.
And it may not even hurt that much. Emma's play for the turn was Gitaxian Probe, attack for 2, but then play no lands. So she's actually cut off of the rest of her hand right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hank will rebuild. Flooded Strands to get himself a blue source, and he can cast that Ponder, try to find another show and tell for the Emrakul he has.
I'm curious as to why Hank would fetch for Volcanic Island here. He's flush with lands, and you have to have Price of Progress on your radar when you're playing against a Monastery Swiftspear deck.
Yeah, I mean, there's something where if you know Blue-Red Delver, you know that it's unlikely that they play Wasteland. So you might go that far and say, hey, I don't need to get a basic. But I do see your point, you know.
Especially with Ancient Tomb dealing 2 damage. You know, he's already at 14.
So he will cast the Ponder. Has Emrakul, has a grip of lands. Looking for a copy of Show and Tell or Sneak Attack.
Looks like there's some fine cards on the top of the deck. I want to say Brainstorm and Pyroblast among the 3.
I'd have to think with the hand he has currently, there's almost no way you can pass up a Brainstorm.
Yeah, when you have that many lands in your hand.
Yeah, you have a bad hand, you have some fetch lands. I mean, it's pretty hard to do better than Brainstorm.
Yeah, the question is whether or not he wants to do something like fetch away some remainders of that Ponder before he casts the Brainstorm and fetch. You know, when you're thinking that long about those cards, it's likely he doesn't want at least one of them.
May not matter here. Emma's turn just to swing with Monastery Swiftspear. She did not convert on the land drop. And now Hank may bury this one. You see he draws 3 off the Brainstorm. He finds Pyroblast, Spell Pierced, and Sneak Attack. So he's going to be revealed very quickly with Counterspell backup.
Mm-hmm. Engineered Explosives in the hand as well if he felt he needed to deal with the Swiftspear.
So he'll complete the Brainstorm by dropping a fetch land after putting 2 cards back. And we go back to Emma. She's drawn Surgical Extraction. Still attacks for 1 with Swiftspear, and we'll make that 2. We'll Prowess. She's going to extract away the Show and Tells. Not going to like what she sees, though. So we have land number Mana Source 5. We have Emrakul and Sneak Attack. So basically, Hank has the Sneak Attack with a backup of Spell Pierce and Pyroblast.
Yep.
And because Emma does not have an island in play, it only has 3 cards in hand, there's just actually no way she could Force of Will win this counter fight. You can't force blue card on 3 cards.
Hank doesn't have a way to cast Sneak Attack, activate it, and fight a counter war on the following turn.
So she could lose the counter war, but in losing the war, she'll not die this turn.
Right. I don't know if she'll be able to convert that into a win, even if that does happen, but it's worth noting.
And this one looking grim for Emma Handy. And Hank is going to go back to his turn. He has the land 5. And draws Lotus Petal for good measure.
Well, now he can cast a Counterspell, Sneak Attack, and activate Sneak Attack.
Yeah, it's unclear. I don't, with Emrakul, I don't think there's any way Emma can get out of this turn. Mm-hmm. At exactly 15, Hank has just enough.
Yeah. and just never able to produce a second land / blue source in this game. She had some good spells in her holding, but Scrydic Probe to the top. Probe did not deliver a land, and it's hard to justify going to 5. You know, she did have a creature. She had a Force of Will, so her 6 was serviceable. And the sneak attack's going to roll this game up here as Emrakul comes across and attacks for exactly lethal.
All right, so that's the game-end match for Hank Zhong. He gets the first win for his team, so they're now up 1-0. So it's going to be on Jadine Klomparens and Jake Humphries to take this one home. We're going to quickly try to get you over to the modern match. This is the one most pressing for their team. It's going to be Death Shadow of Jimmy Shu versus Jake Humphries on Burn. Jake needs this match for his team to still be alive.
Yep, tied up a game apiece. They're in a deciding game 3 here. Needs to win to give Jadine the possibility to win the match.
Yeah, and to be fair, Jadine's actually up in her match.
Right.
So she has a game loss to give, but they need to win the modern one first.
Yes.
All right. So in that one, I mean, we're going to go ahead and bring you into this one as they're already underway in game number 3. It's Burn versus Death Shadow. We see on the left side, we have Jimmy Shu. He is on Death Shadow. He's at 6 life against Jake Humphries on Burn at 13. But 6 life can be misleading. There's a 7/7 Death Shadow in play along with a Tarmogoyf. Jimmy, 2 cards in hand. For Jake, an active Grim Lavamancer, 1 card in hand. But can he do the remaining 6 damage?
Can go upstairs for 2 with the Lavamancer, block the Death Shadow for this turn.
Draw Boros Charm?
It seems to be the line. Unclear what the last card in hand is. I want to say that it's a land. It looks like a Wooded Foothills in hand for Humphries.
So yeah, he's going to be on the top of the deck to save them and bring this one to Jadine's match. Yeah, 4 copies of Boros Charm. And that might just be it. You see cards like Atarka's Command not actually worth any extra points of damage right now.
Yeah, there's no...
And he also needs Jimmy to not have Temur Battle Rage.
Yeah, that would just steal this up right here. No Exquisite Firecraft in Humphries' list. You see that sometimes in modern Burn decks.
Sure. See Jimmy here conferring with teammate Hank. Hank's already taken 1 home. This game could send them into day 2. They do, I guess even if they have Temur Battle Rage, they do have to be careful about the card Path to Exile. It's something that's pretty common in the sideboard of Burn decks. Jake does have 3 of them today. It's not
outside of waiting to top deck a discard spell. Potentially they're trying to respect Deflecting Palm, but I just don't think you can beat that card being cast.
Goyf at a 6/7. Death Shadow a 7/7. This is 13 points of damage.
They're deliberating about something, though. Making sure there's no box on check. There's not some random thing that they can lose to.
It might be that he has a card like Thought. Are they going to go for a Thoughtseize? They go for an Inquisition of Kozilek. Now they siege, just a land in Jake's hand. This is a swing for 13.
Decision could have been Inquisition versus casting Battle Rage. Unclear on that one.
All right, upstairs puts Jimmy down to 4. Jake has 4 copies of Boros Charm in his deck, and that is it. But 1 here would keep his team alive. Can he draw it?
What do you got?
Top card. It's red-white. I think it might be Sacred Foundry, though.
It looks like an Arid Mesa.
Another one. It's close. You got the right colors going on.
That's not going to do it.
And it is Arid Mesa. So that is going to be the match and the round. The team of Dennis Tsao, Jimmy Shu, and Hank Zhong take their 7th win of the day and make it into day 2.
Coming back tomorrow for more team play.
Congratulations to the 3 of them. Sneak and Show is one of those decks we don't actually see it that much in Legacy right now, but you forget just how powerful it is.